Lesson 50. I am sustained by the love of God. Here is the answer to every problem that will confront you, today and tomorrow, and throughout time. In this world, you believe you are sustained by everything but God. Your faith is placed in the most trivial and insane symbols. Pills, money, protective clothing, influence, prestige, being liked, knowing the right people, and an endless list of forms of nothingness that you endow with magical powers. All these things are your replacements for the love of God. All these things are cherished to ensure a body identification. They are songs of praise to the ego. Do not put your faith in the worthless. 5. It will not sustain you. Only the love of God will protect you in all circumstances. It will lift you out of every trial and raise you high above all the perceived dangers of this world into a climate of perfect peace and safety. It will transport you into a state of mind that nothing can threaten, nothing can disturb, and where nothing can intrude upon the eternal calm of the Son of God. Put not your faith in illusions. They will fail you. Put all your faith in the love of God within you, eternal, changeless, and forever unfailing. This is the answer to whatever confronts you today. Through the love of God within you, you can resolve all seeming difficulties without effort and ensure confidence. Tell yourself this often today. It is a declaration of release from the belief in idols. It is your acknowledgement of the truth about yourself. For 10 minutes, twice today, morning and evening, let the idea for today sink deep into your consciousness. Repeat it. Think about it. Let related thoughts come to help you recognize its truth and allow peace to flow over you like a blanket of protection and surety. Let no idle and foolish thoughts enter to disturb the holy mind of the Son of God. Such is the kingdom of heaven, such is the resting place where your Father has placed you forever. Lesson 50. I am sustained by the love of God. This statement, this one statement, is everything. It's a complete reversal of what the world teaches. The world says survival is up to you, that you must plan, hustle, protect, acquire, achieve, that safety and success are a matter of control. But here comes Jesus, cutting through all of that like a sword, saying, no, you are sustained by the love of God, nothing else. Let's sit with this. What does it mean to be sustained? Sustained. It's not just being helped. It's not a temporary lift, a lucky break, or a moment of grace that fades. Sustained means carried, upheld, nourished and maintained, continuously, unfailingly, eternally. Like the sun sustaining all life on earth, but more certain than even that, because one day the sun will burn out. But the love of God, it never wavers, never dims, never stops. The Course tells us that this one idea is the answer to every problem that will confront you today, tomorrow, and forever. Every problem. Not just the obvious ones. Not just the ones we think are spiritual. All of them. So let's get practical. Overwhelmed by bills? I am sustained by the love of God. Health concerns? I am sustained by the love of God. Feeling unworthy? I am sustained by the love of God. Struggling in relationships? I am sustained by the love of God. Fearful about the future? I am sustained by the love of God. This is not positive thinking. This is truth. And the truth does not need our belief to be true. It just is. Where we place our faith. The lesson tells us straight up. In this world, you believe you are sustained by everything but God. Everything but God. And what does that list look like? Jesus doesn't hold back. He lays it all out. Pills. We trust chemicals to fix what love alone can heal. Money. The great illusion of security, which people die chasing. Protective clothing. The idea that external barriers keep us safe. Influence. If I control enough people, I'll be okay. Prestige. If I achieve enough, I'll be worthy. Being liked. If they approve of me, I have value. Knowing the right people. If I network right, I'll be set. And an endless list of forms. All of them, as Jesus says, forms of nothingness. Nothingness. Yet, we invest in these things like they are our life. We bow to them, we serve them, we sacrifice for them. Jesus calls them songs of praise to the ego. What a phrase. Imagine standing in front of a pile of money, singing to it. Bowing before a prescription bottle. worshipping the approval of strangers. It sounds ridiculous, but that's exactly what we do. And here's the truth, mighty companions. These things don't even work. Money doesn't prevent anxiety. Influence doesn't bring peace. Pills don't heal a suffering mind. Prestige doesn't erase loneliness. They don't sustain us because they can't. They were never meant to. So why do we cling to them? Because they reinforce body identification. They convince us we are separate, fragile, temporary beings trying to survive in a dangerous world. But Jesus is calling us out of survival mode. He's telling us, you don't need these things. You never did. Going all in on God. Put all your faith in the love of God. Not some, not half, all. Imagine a poker player holding a pile of chips. He looks at the table, sees all the illusions, and instead of hedging his bets, he pushes everything forward. All in, on God. That's the call here. Jesus isn't asking for belief in theory. He's inviting us into practice. How do you actually practice this? Simple. Say it, over and over, even when you don't believe it, even when the fear is loud. Let it sink in. Let it override the old programming. Because this isn't about convincing the intellect, it's about training the mind. Feeling anxious? Say it. Tempted to control? Say it. Catching yourself chasing illusions? Say it. I am sustained by the love of God. You don't have to feel it yet. Just say it, and something will shift. The resting place. Jesus ends by telling us what happens when we stop putting our faith in illusions. We enter a resting place, not a working place, not a striving place, not a struggling place, a resting place, a place where we can finally stop, breathe, be held, because we are sustained. And how long does this rest last? Forever. Forever. Let's talk. This is not just something to think about. It's something to live. So what does this bring up for you? Where do you still put your faith in illusions? And what would it look like to go all in on God today?